Need the rain. We could use a really good soaking. I think we will get that, but timing wise it is very, very inconvenient and even dangerous that this line of heavy storms will be coming through right around the time of the evening commute tomorrow. So while today is quiet, tomorrow everything kind of goes downhill. Let's take you out to our skyline view, basically, where we're looking a little gray this morning. It's starting to brighten up slightly, and I think as we go through the day, we'll see more sunshine breaking through the clouds. But the cloud cover has kept things a little bit warmer, certainly, than it was yesterday at this time. We're waking up to 37 in Philadelphia right now. We're at 38 degrees in Millville. These are spots, Millville, Toms River, Atlantic City, that were in the teens yesterday morning, and this morning we're talking 30s and 40s. So definitely warming up today. And as we brighten up a little bit, as the sun breaks through the clouds, you can see some blue sky there, just trying to break out over the city. We are going to continue that nice warm up. We're heading for the mid to upper 50s later on today. The question, of course, is when do the storms arrive and how long will it last? I think tomorrow morning's commute is quiet, but it's tomorrow evening that things go downhill. So your next 12 hours today is looking fine. In fact, more sunshine as the day goes on. And look at these numbers. After yesterday's high of only 41 in the city, upper 30s in many spots, today we're heading for the upper 50s, which will feel great. But that warmth coming out ahead of this strong system, which is really taking shape here this morning across the central and southern plains. And that has prompted a next weather alert for tomorrow for rain and the potential for severe storms. Heavy rain, damaging wind, even an isolated tornado threat with this line, although it does look like that risk will be maximized south of our area. Impacts, localized flooding and ponding, and possible power outages with any strong winds. Timing late afternoon into the early evening, just in time for that evening rush. So we'll time it out hour by hour coming up, and we'll talk about what will follow that system as well. Let's send it over to Avoid. If it's just a band of heavy rain that comes through, yes, it's inconvenient for the evening commute, but severe storms, not something that you ever want, and that's what we'll be watching certainly as we head through the day tomorrow. We're in at least a marginal or slight risk, depending on where you are, for severe weather tomorrow. Let's take a look at where this storm is today, though. This storm really taking shape across the central plains and southern plains here this morning. It's moving east. It's moving east pretty quickly. You can see that squall line moving across northern Texas, and this is going to be headed for cities like New Orleans on Mardi Gras Tuesday, which is not a great time for that to arrive, and they have postponed some things and moved some of those parades and festivities back a bit because of the severe threat. And then as we get into tomorrow, here comes that front. It's going to cross our area right into tomorrow afternoon and evening, and you can see as the storm lifts, when a storm lifts to the north and east, that's an indication that it's weakening a little bit. So the line of storms will be a little weaker for us tomorrow than it will be, again, for those areas off to the south today. However, it does run the risk of damaging winds and even the potential for an isolated tornado, especially in areas off to our south. So let's take you through it. We'll take you into, first of all, what's happening right now as you step outside. It's not too bad. It's 36 degrees, and the wind chill maybe just a couple of degrees colder than the actual temp, but winds are going to start to really pick up from the south and west today, and that's going to start warming us up to 58 degrees outside today, which is going to feel fantastic. That is more than 15 degrees warmer than yesterday when many spots were stuck in the upper 30s. We did reach 41 yesterday for the high in the city. Here's a look at satellite and radar, and again, there's another look at that line of storms, which is pushing quickly into the Ark-La-Tex region, the area that is kind of given that name because of Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas here. And then that's going to move into Mississippi and Alabama later on tonight, and then toward the East Coast tomorrow. So a potent storm impacting much of the nation in the next couple of days. The area that's under the greatest risk for severe weather today does include New Orleans. It does include portions of southern Mississippi and southern Arkansas. And this area also has an enhanced risk for tornadoes. So the Storm Prediction Center every day issues a general severe risk and also breaks it down: tornado risk, hail risk. You can see the hash marked area, which again does include New Orleans. That is an enhanced 10+% risk of a tornado, which is not ever a good thing. In our region, the threat is tomorrow, and you can see the enhanced risk, that's the level 3, basically from about Norfolk, Virginia, right on down through South Carolina. But as we zoom into our region, that yellow area, that's a level 2 out of 5, slight risk for severe weather across especially Delaware and Chester County, portions of Berks County. As this system moves to the north and east, it's going to weaken slightly, but we're still in a level 1 marginal risk for severe weather tomorrow in the Philadelphia area. Breaking that down into the tornado risk, where you see the green, that's a 2% risk, 5% in the brown. 2% might sound low, but what you want is 0. You want storms that are really along a squall line, maybe damaging winds, which can be just as bad, but you never want the risk for a tornado. So that's something we'll be monitoring closely tomorrow. Let's take you through the timing. Again, tonight, we've got that storm moving through portions of Mississippi. New Orleans will see it later this evening, right around the time of those Mardi Gras festivities. For us, the morning commute tomorrow is quiet, but then here comes that line of storms starting at about 2 o'clock in our far western suburbs, right around 4, 5, 6 o'clock, right at the height of the afternoon drive in the city, and then clearing the coast by about 8 o'clock. We're looking at the greatest risk being some flooding rain. Again, we need the rain. You don't need it too quickly, though. It could lead to some ponding and road spray out there. Strong straight line winds, a high risk of that in excess of 50 miles an hour. And a non-zero risk of large hail and an isolated tornado. Greatest risk is to the south, but stay with us throughout the day. We will, of course, be watching this closely and have you covered the entire time. After that, it's windy on Thursday and then a nice day Friday before another front knocks us back briefly into the 40s for highs. By Sunday, we also spring forward on those clocks this weekend. Cam, I'll send it.